Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Claudia Monicelli with another episode of Multiple Voices. My Multiple Voices podcast, true to its name, includes different series. For example, we have the Voices of Love, where we discuss relationships, the voice of empowerment, the voice of laughter and play, the voice of pleasure, and the magical voice of archetypes and how they change the way we live. But we also have the voice of memory that includes everything from history to discussions of past life regression. There's also writing voices, where we interview both seasoned writers and authors who have just started getting their feet wet with writing, and we learn what can work for you as potential writers. Our series called Voice of the Spirit discusses different forms of spirituality and religion. And then Channeling Voices is a series that covers what happens when you channel, but is also extended to mediumship. Take a moment to review this podcast if you've enjoyed listening, and leave a hearty 5 stars. I'd appreciate it. Enjoy your listening. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is another episode of the podcast Multiple Voices, and today I'm here with Dr. April Brown. Can you say hello to our audience, April?
Oh, yes. Thank you so much for having me on the show. Yeah.
It's a pleasure.
I'm so happy to be here. And here in the U.S., it's St. Patty's Day, so that's why.
Right, it is. That's why I'm looking at her and she has a bright green headband. I know, St. Patty's Day. I lived for many, many years in New York City and northern New Jersey, in the New York area, and that is St. Patrick's. I mean, the whole city is aglow with green. Who is April Brown? Now, April Brown, I guess I could call her, if I had to use one key word, I would say a relationship coach. And it's, coach, the word coach is overused and probably not the best word, because here you work with all things relationship. It's not just a love relationship, but there's family relationships, any kind of relationship. And what I see and know about you is that you have group practices and you have couples retreats. You also have a podcast that I'd like you to talk about, bringing intimacy back. And this, talking about intimacy in a world that is today is almost obviously desirable, but some people scratch their head and think, wow, is it possible? Is there intimacy still? Could we ever find a world where we'll be free to kiss each other and hug each other on the streets? Now, I'll obviously in the description of the episode, I'm going to put in all of her social media and her website and reach her book series as well. She has a book series on improving intimacy. And she also has this Bringing Intimacy Back, the podcast. You actually are there with a Dr. Kelly. Is that correct?
Actually, it's a new person now.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, Dr. Kelly's no longer with me. She was a good friend of mine. And so I want to just kind of clarify in the sense of intimacy what I feel that I do. So I'm an intimacy therapist that's also a mental health therapist. And the difference in my eyes between therapists and coaches is one is that I'm licensed and have a variety of other aspects, but we go extremely deep. Okay. And when I talk about intimacy, I'm talking about that deep connection of being in the present moment with self, with if you have an inner spirit, with your inner spirit, with your body, with the person you're talking to, or if you're not talking to anyone or seeing anyone, with yourself. And that is something that many people struggle with.
Okay. Now, this is a wider definition, a wider distinction of what you do, which is welcome, of course, because before you can be intimate with anyone else, if you don't know what intimacy means at all, it starts with yourself. Now, this is really interesting. First, let's go back in time. We're going to play a game, all right?
Okay.
We're going back in time, and April Brown was born. She was born somewhere to someone, and then she started growing up. Who was April Brown at the high school level?
Okay. Everybody
laughs when I ask that.
No, which is great. Just to get a little back up, my elementary years was in Charleston, South Carolina. I grew up in the South. Okay. And then I have parents who are very spiritual, and my parents got a calling to go to Florida.
Okay.
So I moved.
So now you're in Florida. You're in Florida now.
I moved from one Catholic school, which is in the South, to another Catholic school in Florida.
All right.
And Florida is totally different. Okay. When I was in the South, I was still playing with baby dolls. Okay.
Right.
Moved to Florida. The next day, gave up baby dolls, and I'm into Prince. Okay.
And you're into what? Sorry.
Into Prince, into Madonna. I made that
Prince,
switch like
music. Yeah, I get it.
Yes. So Florida, everything goes. I was also in an all Caucasian school, which I was kind of used to before, but it's different when you have hormones.
Right. Sure.
And all this other kind of stuff. So, and in Florida education system's a little tad bit behind. So being in Florida, I was also now labeled as very, very smart.
Good.
Okay. This was not the same thing that I was in. So I was a little bit of a nerd because that's where I fit in. So I was hanging out with all the nerds, kind of always wanted
I love this. Yeah.
Wanted to connect with the popular people, but many of the popular people were much wealthier than me.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it was a private school nearby the beach. My dad was actually the janitor there. So have to deal with that kind of dilemma in some aspects. Yes. And so there
it wasn't, let's say you were not that you were socially challenged, but you went into a social context that challenged you.
Yes, and, exactly.
But you've got this superpower. You got the brains and the intelligence, and that is a big superpower at that age. Believe me.
Yes. But how can I put it? I was following one of my best friends, and she wanted to be a doctor. And we went into AP biology, and I could not stand the smell of anything. And I crushed my dreams of being a doctor. That is it. So I decided I'm good at numbers, and I would do accounting. And that's what I went to college for.
For me, it wasn't the smell; it was the blood. As soon as I saw blood, I couldn't do it. I'll do anything but that.
Yes.
All right. So you got into accounting. Oh my Lord! And I feel sorry for you. I do. I feel for you. How long did that last?
Oh, they were all through college. Graduated with a degree. Then actually did accounting for the top, it was Domino's at the time, still Domino's, but for all their stores in the southern region. Yes. So it lasted maybe 6-7 years, but it was the same stuff over and over again.
Yeah. So what are the ages? What years are these we're talking about here?
This is from like 18 to 24.
Okay. So important years. Mm-hmm.
Yes. But in that time, I also had was pregnant and had a child, and realized that I could not work 80 hours a week.
Wow. The Lord, the universe gave you a gift. Yes. This woman's got to stop working. That's fantastic.
Yes. And so he spoke to me about maybe doing counseling. And I was like, God, I don't like people. This is not it. I'm not going to make any money.
No, wait a minute. You have to take a step back. I don't like people. Wait a minute. Laughing. I mean, what happened there? You didn't like people. You just wanted, you were hiding behind those numbers?
Yes, exactly. I knew anyone.
Were you shy?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm still shy. I'm still an introvert. I mean, yeah.
No. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you don't have the benefit of video. And I'm looking at this gorgeous woman with a white smile that is magical, just beautiful. And to hear someone like that say that they're shy, it's almost an oxymoron. It doesn't jive. It doesn't come. I can't believe that.
Okay. Yeah, but I understand what it is, and I'm okay with it. So
In what
yeah.
sense can you understand what it is?
So I'm an introvert. So what that
Right,
means is that I get my energy from within.
right,
People drain me.
right. Oh, I get it. Okay, I get that now.
Extroverts are very out there. Yes,
Okay, I get there.
yes, yes. But
Uh-huh.
this is also a calling from my higher spirit.
Yes.
Yes. So I have the faith or the belief system that if I show up, he will do everything else. I just have to show up.
Oh, it sounds like the line in the movie with Kevin Costner, you build it and they will show up, on the
Exactly.
baseball field. Yeah. So here we are. You keep mentioning calling and higher power and your spirit. So we're getting into a social, not a socialist, a spiritual realm here already. And this was right after 24 because you had a child. And the child is how old, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, she's 26 now.
Okay, so that means it was around the time she was born or after?
Actually, he told me to quit my job and to go home and sit still.
Yeah,
And I sat still for 4 months, and I was like,
yeah,
I cannot be a stay-at-home mom. This is going to drive me
yeah,
nuts. My mom was
sure.
a stay-at-home mom.
Oh,
She could do it, but I couldn't.
yeah.
Yes, and in that process of going back to school, taking a course, also donating some time at a pregnancy center
Yeah.
was a process of God, walking me into this whole counseling aspect.
Oh, okay.
And then I had to go
So,
back to school, of course.
okay, so you were sort of slided
Oh,
into this
yes.
people, coming in contact with people.
Yes.
And I love this. I love this. I love this story. So you then went back to study, is that right?
Yeah, I went back to study for 2 years
Yeah.
in a graduate program that was very intense.
Hmm.
Um, and the funny thing is sometimes God's puts you on a path and things
Right.
happen.
Right.
So I brought first thing, my little one decided not to walk almost. She finally walked a week before I was supposed to enter school. And I was really worried about that because I was like, how am you going to go to daycare and you're not walking? Okay.
Yeah.
But she walked anyway. And I brought her with me to school and stuff. But then she got
Oh, poor
extremely
girl.
sick. But they thought that she had cancer and all this other
Oh my
kind of stuff.
God.
Then
Oh
I
my
was
God.
debating, do I leave school? Do I do what? And actually, her father brought her to my mom, and I
Uh-huh.
was without her for 8 months or something
Oh
like
my
that.
goodness. That was a
And my
challenge.
grandma passed away and all that. And I remember saying to my mom, I don't think I can do this. And she's like,
Yeah.
April, just focus, get it done. Your child's never going to remember this.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And I did. So
Wow.
of course, my daughter got better just like that from
Wow.
when
Oh,
she went back.
what was the graduate program about?
It was clinical mental health where I did
Okay.
school counseling and mental health counseling. I
Okay.
went in
So
I went
you
in
were
for school
forced
counseling. Yes.
you were forced to go toward people, right?
Yes. And I didn't think I was going to make any money. I just thought I was just going to be dirt
Mother
poor.
Teresa for the rest of your life. I
Exactly.
see.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So
Why would
then,
you
all
leave
right,
a
now come on.
business?
I know we're getting to the high point, the climax of the story here, because
Yeah.
the girl is growing, you are getting your degree, and what happens?
So what happens is actually finish, get into the field,
Yeah.
and at
But
some
when you
and I get
say,
into
forgive me, April, if I interrupt, when you say I get into the field, I got into the field, what exactly field was that then?
Okay. So originally, when I say God spoke to me, He spoke to me about being a school counselor, just like my grandmother was. She was the first Black school counselor in South Carolina.
Okay.
Okay, but she passed away before I actually finished. Okay.
Uh-huh.
When I finished, I wasn't able to get a job as a school counselor because I never had any teaching experience.
I know that's in the United States, that's the way it works. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So I ended up taking a job down in Miami as a career counselor. Okay, so
Ah,
I
well,
read
not bad.
majors in school in mental health, and I went for career.
Uh-huh.
Okay. We hated Miami, But basically, and that's a whole nother
Makes me
story.
laugh. No, I mean, you do really love it or hate it. That's Miami,
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I hated it. But while I was there, I was putting on a career fair for a school system that's here in this
Oh,
area.
so you were organizing something
Yes,
that
yes.
seemed
And the school
bigger.
system came and they said, "Oh, we didn't talk to any students. We need a name to go back. We cannot go back because they didn't know, nobody signed up for their school system. We need a name." So I just signed my name. Hey, here's my name. Whatever, go. Lo and behold, a principal calls me and
Yeah,
says, "Hey, do you want to come?" And this is Fort Myers, Cape Coral. And I'm
yeah.
like, "Where are you located?" I don't even know. I mean, I knew Florida.
Fort
Come and
Myers,
just,
Florida, right?
yeah, yeah, just come check this area out. So I checked it out. He hired me on the spot as a school counselor, hired my
Wow.
dad as, yeah, just because he knew me.
Yeah.
And the whole family moved.
Well, how old were you at that time?
I think I was a little bit before 30.
Okay. So a really important time. It's really
Yes.
important. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so that's how we ended up here in this area.
Uh-huh.
After so many years, I met a woman who's also a school counselor, and she's
Yeah.
like, "Hey, you and I have this mental health background. Why don't we start a practice?"
Good for her.
And
Oh,
a
absolutely.
Christian-based practice of mental health. And I was like, "I don't know." And she kept pushing me.
I don't know. Why, you're funny.
I'm always doubting. Yes.
I don't know.
I don't know if I could do this one-on-one counseling kind of thing. I don't know.
Oh, God.
Yes. And
Yeah,
so we
one day I'm
started.
going to say, April, I'll see that. April Brown for president. I met that girl. I met that woman.
Yeah, and we started Christian-based practice. And so,
Okay.
yeah,
Now, wait. That's big. Now, when you said we started a Christian-based practice, why? And was that the sort of glue that brought you together with this woman?
yeah, yes, yeah, yeah. And so, and she became my supervisor because I hadn't done anything with my mental health. There's certain aspects you have to do when you, for mental
That's the
health.
way
It's
it
a whole
works in the
other
United
story.
States. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yeah. And so she helped me get my mental health license.
Good for her.
Yes, yeah. And then I started to get all these clients, and it started to boom. And then also,
Wait. You have the clients. You didn't even tell me what. So you got together with her and you opened a center, a practice. Okay.
yes.
Now the practice, when it was open, are you still together?
No, we're not still
Okay.
together. I had to expand more.
Yeah.
Yes, because her and I shared a room together, and I got too big where I had to get my own room. And the next thing you know, I'm helping other people, and it kind of, yeah. Yes,
Oh,
we're still
wow.
good friends. We're still good friends.
So now you have your own. What should I call it? A consulting firm? What would
Oh,
a
it's a counseling
practice?
practice. It's a group
A
practice. It's
counseling
like,
practice, and you yourself or with someone else?
no, I'm by myself now, and I have
Yeah.
like 10 to 15 different interns.
Okay.
Yes,
Good.
yeah,
And it's in
yeah.
Fort Myers. It's in Fort
It's in
Myers.
Cape Coral. Yes, it's in Cape Coral. Yeah.
Okay. And what's the name? What name did you give it?
It's
Your
it's
name
Cape
or?
Coral. No, it's Cape Coral Therapist.
All right. Nice.
Yes, yes,
Oh, so now you're starting to like Florida a little more, right?
yes. I do.
And now your daughter. Let's tell us where she is
My
at that
daughter.
time.
The great thing about her is she's actually working in Atlanta.
Yeah.
She works with a place called Fair Count where they help people vote and all that kind of stuff. And she's
Ah.
actually she majored in English, but now she's actually in the financial part. So
Ah.
it's
The
amazing.
numbers.
The
Again,
numbers,
took after her
yes.
mother. The numbers. Wow. So now let's see. You sort of there were rocks that you went through. You hopped on one rock, then hopped across the pond on another in a pond. You haven't walked on water yet. Okay, so now we're at this practice, this center, right? It has the name of the place
Right.
and the therapist. Now, do you? Of course, I know about you, but if you were to explain to us what type of practice it is, what is the major what type of person walks through that door? Most of, all the time. Most, say the majority of the time. What cases do you generally deal with?
Okay, so the majority of the time, it's usually relationship issues that people walk through the door.
Misuse? Did you say misuse?
Relationship
Okay.
issues.
Oh,
Yes,
issues.
because yes, because I'm a certified sex therapist.
Uh-huh.
So people come to see us because of that. I've also been a school counselor, so my name gets out there. So people come
Right.
a lot to deal with children. I don't see children anymore,
Uh-huh.
but it's also a place. My practice is a little different than anybody else's. I help other people have their own practices, just like
Good for you. You're sort of a
a
coach,
referral thing.
consultant,
Yeah,
or
coach kind of thing.
nice. Nice.
Yes, yes. So
So
that's
you're
what
giving back what the other woman gave
we
to
did.
you. Nice.
Exactly.
So
That's what
there's a
I.
lot of work. There's work to be had. And the more
Yes,
you refer somebody, the more it comes back to you. Really,
right. And we
really
have,
interesting.
yeah, we don't take any insurance, but I have people that are graduate students all the way to my level. So
Uh-huh.
we have a variety of prices, so we can accommodate anybody based on their budget.
I see. This business about insurance, are you set in stone with that, or do you think
Yes.
that that could change in the
No,
future?
I'm set in stone.
Good. Why? Can you just give us an idea?
Well, I took insurance for about a year.
Yeah.
Okay. And the paperwork, it just wasn't worth it, number one.
Uh-huh.
Number two was that for when you use insurance, that goes into your medical record for life. Okay. And then they dictate the type of service.
And what's wrong with that?
Well, sometimes it can cause issues later on in life. If like you're coming in
Give
for
me an example. Make it up.
make it up.
Yeah.
So you're having a breakup or someone labels you as bipolar,
Right.
let's say when you're 18,
Uh-huh.
and it follows you all the way to your 40, 50, 60, and doctors and everyone treats you like they just treat you differently
Oh, I
because
see.
of
So
that.
the stigma is
The
attached to you when
stigma.
you have an issue. Okay, I get it. And
Right.
that will be in your record if they come to you through insurance.
Yeah, yeah. Or for some people, it may cause, and I'm not into arms at all, and I don't even own a gun, but
Yeah.
it can stop people from a variety of other things.
I
Yeah,
see. I see. So that's one of the things that they could be.
and they don't pay what the worth is.
Ah,
Yes,
okay. Okay.
yes, and that's the other aspect.
Okay, I get it. Very
Yes,
interesting this is. Very, very interesting. Okay, so now the practice is underway. You've got this, you have got other people working with you and for you, and you're referring people and things. Let's say that today you said before, I don't work with children anymore, so I imagine that you're in a position of being able to choose what you would like to do and who you would like to deal with or not.
I would love to choose, but sometimes you know how I hear from my inner spirit.
Yeah. What do they knock before they come? What is
So I
I'm
love children, but I
yeah,
can't see all these couples and children and all the other things that I do.
right.
That he's told me I need to just give that up to one of my other therapists. This is what I need to focus on right now.
Okay.
I can't
So
do all this stuff.
you are the relationship person.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Now let's jump a little bit and all right, there's the podcast, right? And you told me that Dr. Kelly's no longer with you. Is there another?
Yes, it's Coach K. She does intimacy. She's an intimacy coach, intimacy
Kay?
and love. Yeah, Kay.
Okay, Coach K, and she does intimacy. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say that you have this podcast, and how is that going? How long has it been in existence?
Since 2017, it's been my own podcast since 2017.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so one of the things, I don't know how you look at businesses. I'm glad I have a business background, okay?
Yeah.
But I look at all my businesses as children.
Oh, yes, definitely.
So
But the
my
thing
practice,
is, sometimes you don't give enough to one children the other. And I like to get them all, they have the same thing. I mean, they are our children, right?
yes, yes. So my practice of the Cape Coral therapist is like a grown child. It can work itself. Okay.
That's a great idea. It's a great idea.
Yeah. I have a little baby called Vacation Counseling, which is my couples retreat. Bringing intimacy back is my teenager.
Yes, and we know how teenagers are.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's a lot of work, but I don't feel like it's time for me to give it up. I'm doing it live, and actually do it live starting at 3:30.
I see.
On Thursdays.
See.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot of work, but it's growing. It's growing.
Yeah, it is, and it's a lot of fun too. It's
a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. I mean,
yeah,
I won't. That's a child that I will not, leave on the back burner.
Right, it's a teenager.
Yeah, it's a teenager. You're right. That just doesn't seem to grow. All right, but now what I wanted to get at is putting black on white. There must be a lot of writing that you do. You talked about administrative work and all of that. You don't like to. What about a book?
Yes, I have. I have a series of
a series.
A series. It's called Improving Intimacy.
Yeah,
and we're on series number 5. I think that's out there. So
that's about the 5th book of one series, or there are 5 different series.
No, one series, the 5th book of 7.
Okay. Good.
Yes. So we're talking about intimacy, of course, with spirit, with God, with sex. And the latest one that's out is intimacy in the professional business world.
Say that again. Intimacy
in the business world.
Okay. So let me get this straight. You have all these series and they're available on Amazon.com, right?
Yes, exactly.
And in all, if you come down to quantify it, there's 7 series, you said, right?
There's 7 books. But only 5 are out. The 6th one's coming out in May. Okay, and then it's going to be a big book later on. Yeah.
Okay. So let's say that, do you co-author with other people or not?
No, it's just my book for right now. Okay.
Yeah.
And these are just quick books with a little bit of information in them. I am working on a bigger book that combines all these books with stories from the podcast and all that. So these are like little appetizers kind of thing.
Oh, wait, they're not children though. What happens to these books when they hit the market? I mean, they're on their own, right? They're on their own.
Yes, they're on their own. Yes.
And of course you
still have to market
them.
It.
Yeah, you market it on your podcast, and so the teenager has a lot of work to do. And so you give, or else they won't do anything.
Yes.
So this is interesting. So let's say you have your hands full with Cape Coral Therapy, right?
Yes.
And I see that there's a Facebook page, Cape Coral Therapy, and vacation counseling as well.
My baby.
For the
That's
couples.
My baby.
That's the baby. This is the retreat, the couples retreat. But I'm missing something here. And I mean, everyone likes a good story, right? You write and you. Now, I know that you have babies and different babies and different ages, but let's imagine that your clients, they're not children of yours, but I like to think of them as case studies. Everything is a case. Okay, so I don't want to name, I don't want anything. Can you tell us the story of a case that's particularly interesting to you, either because it was challenging, either it was because there was such a change from the beginning to the end, either because you finally, in the end, you didn't think you were going to, work it out, but then you did. But one that sticks high on your list of something that was well worth doing. You get what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. Let me try to see how I could say this So I had a case that came through my baby business, which is my retreats.
Your retreat, the couples retreat. Yeah.
Yes.
So there are 2 people who came, right?
2 people. Yes. And when they came through, they actually could not physically come here because I did couples. We did it online.
Yeah.
And in that process, they were separated in 2 states, going through a lot of stuff. There was addiction issues, affairs, just a variety of backstabbing. on both ends. Okay.
Yeah.
When I do a retreat, that's when another therapist is usually involved.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So for the last almost a year, I had been meeting with them with another therapist, and got them back together, and so they're back in a particular state now where they live,
Yeah.
and things were still kind of tough because she's also having to give up addiction.
Uh-huh.
Yes, yes, and so when you're giving up any type of addiction, there's a void.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right, right, right.
What has inspired her through all this is that she's thought about getting into the field. So
Oh,
it's
how
really
into
great.
your field?
Into my field, yes.
Interesting.
Yes. But she's also very, very, very shy.
Ah,
So,
I
yes.
wonder why. Maybe she has those voices too. I mean, somebody
Yes,
pushing her
yes,
your
yes,
way. People
yes,
come to you who are like-minded usually. Yeah.
yes, yes. So
Or in
she,
any case, like vibrational states. So,
right, right.
yeah.
So she and her husband decide to come with me to Costa Rica. I do couples retreat in Costa Rica. Yes.
Nice. Nice
Yeah.
move.
Yes,
Hmm.
yes.
They
But in
both
the
went? Did they
They
both
both
go?
went.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. I was doing a couples retreat. But in that process of coming to Costa Rica, there was a point, it's a long story. I
Yeah,
did
yeah.
a sweat lodge, which was pretty intense. Okay.
What is a sweat lodge? They had work to do?
Oh, a sweat lodge is where you go in into a small little area
Yeah.
in the woods, and
Ah,
they put you in the little thing all smushed together, and
oh
they
my
put
God.
hot coals,
Oh my
and
God.
you sweat, and you and you're in the dirt, and it's just whew.
Oh God,
um,
I get it.
I put it as an excursion, but I honestly did not realize how intense it was.
Of course,
Okay.
especially for her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So this
yeah,
young lady decided
yeah,
not to do that, and
yeah,
which was fine. That's her first time of actually speaking out and say, "Hey, I don't
yeah.
feel good about that," which was
Right,
great.
right.
I did it, and that's another story.
Uh-huh.
But later on, there was an event that she does participate after this whole sweat
Yeah.
lodge, and it's a spiritual event. And the spiritual person asks, had anyone had any alcohol?
Oh,
And this person was struggling with addiction
yeah,
and had some,
yeah,
and with some other people. And I was so proud of her for stating, and this is with a bunch of strangers,
yeah.
hey, that I had some.
Ah,
Yeah. For someone to say your vulnerability in front of a bunch of strangers,
right.
and for that
Sure.
person, the spiritual person also kind of like put her down a little bit.
Oh,
For
oh,
her to
Jesus.
say, well, if I'd known that that was part of what was required, I would not have. She stood and spoke her truth.
Uh-huh. I get it.
And for me, that was rewarding,
Mm-hmm.
even for her, because for you to go and you speak your truth
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
among strangers
Yeah, sure. Sure. This
is
is interesting, very interesting. I get it now. Going back and remembering what you mentioned in the beginning, how you were an introvert. Well, introverts then need space of a certain kind before they can interact. And, coming to a point like this in your life where you interact, you communicate in any case, even if it's not one to
right.
one in person, it is at a distance. It is. I don't want to use this word in a derogatory way, but it is draining. There is,
Hmm.
usually people in counseling, they say it depends on where and what type of counseling. There's a threshold, there's a limit
Right.
of what you can take, and a certain number of years. And but April, you've gone into it so slowly that I don't see you getting out of there or ending it anytime soon at all. I mean, you're just going to keep expanding, expanding, expanding. Costa Rica, here I come. There's going to be an office in Costa Rica, and you may be moving as well. Very
Yes,
interesting.
actually, that's what came to me when I was in the sweat lodge. I didn't realize the impact
Yeah.
that, yes. being in that part, when you're sweating and sweating and sweating, and you have someone doing chanting and all that, it
Yeah.
really makes you look at yourself. And
Yeah.
of course, it brought me to the 12 disciples being so close together, but it also brought me into visions of slavery
Yes.
and how
That's the first
my
thing I
ans-
thought about.
yeah,
Yeah.
how my ancestors have done so much to
Yeah.
get me to where I am right here,
Right. Right. Right.
that I have to
Yeah.
be very humble and grateful and
Yeah.
be okay to walk into what's designed for me and
Yeah.
not to back away from it.
Yeah, yeah. And this is, it takes a special person to be able to realize that. But it
Right,
also takes a connection for you to be able to get there. And you're
right,
very lucky on the one hand to have received it. Not everyone does, but at the same time, very, very open to have received it, willing to receive it, you know. Like I tell people, so many people in the work that I do, they come, well, how can I know when the spirit of my mother comes to me at night, or when has she, how can I speak to her, you know? And it's very difficult to give people rules and regulations and that kind, because it happens differently for everyone.
right.
Everyone. I'm sure you're aware, because of the people that you encounter and their stories, it is different for everyone. But it's also, like you say, a gift that opens your eyes to how much and how grateful you can be
Hmm.
today for everything that has come before you. You know, you're
Right, of course.
walking not in your shoes, you're walking in the shoes that people, have given you before you, and
Right.
which is such a lovely thought. Um, one other, let's say, I'd like to finish the talk between us with a suggestion. If you could think of a suggestion that you could, apart from coming to you, and of course I will be tooting your horn, but apart from all of that, something that you could suggest to people listening that they could do, or they can aspire to, something that you could suggest them to do so they in some way could even just move forward a little bit in connecting with themselves more readily.
The first thing that pops into my mind is to never, ever say anything negative about yourself. Never think negativity about yourself. The world may be against you, your partner, your family, but you have to be on your team.
Good for you.
Okay. Of course, we make mistakes, and I make
Yeah.
mistakes all the time. But I say to myself, I'm a work in progress.
Yeah.
And
We
I
all
don't live
are.
in guilt. I'm a work in progress.
That's it. That's another word to get rid of our vocabulary, guilt.
Yes, yes. And so when you're on your team and you're uplifting yourself, and you actually, the other thing that I would say is that many people, when it comes to spirituality and religion and all that, they
Yeah.
do a lot of talking to their higher power, which is
Yeah.
great, but usually the higher power knows more than you and I. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So, so the thing that's really important is to find time to just listen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen to
Yeah.
that inner spirit. And sometimes that requires you just being out in nature. Just, yes,
Right.
because that inner spirit is talking to you on a daily basis. And there's some days we're supposed to walk, some days we're supposed to talk, some days we're supposed to
Right.
do X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
But when you listen, and if you know your inner spirit is telling you X, Y, Z, then you just show up and
Yeah.
use mindfulness,
Right.
being in the present moment
Aware.
without judgment.
Keep your consciousness with you, close to
Yes.
your vest. Dr. April Brown, it was a pleasure to speak to you today.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you taking the time, and I know that you'll be going and airing live soon in about an
Yes.
hour or less,
Yes.
45
Yes.
minutes. So I know you have to go. Thank you, and really,
Oh,
I hope to have you back one day and that our paths will cross. And if you
thank you.
move to Costa Rica, let me know.
Oh, yes, Claudia, you're welcome to come anytime. Thank you so much.
You're
I've been on a
welcome.
lot of podcasts, but this has been the most enjoyable. And I
Oh, how
love your
sweet.
creative ways of asking questions. And
How sweet that is that you could, that's kind of you to say. That's really kind of you to say.
yeah, but
Thanks. I
it's the truth.
appreciate it. Oh, thanks. Thanks, April. I love you now already. You have yourself a nice I'm going to listen to your podcast, and we'll talk again soon. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.